Okay, just a couple reminders for your test tomorrow. So remember that our steps to simplify expressions are please, don't, call. So this is prepare, distribute, and combine. So a couple of the mistakes that we want to make sure that we point out before you take your test. The first thing is if you have a minus that is right up against the parentheses. For example, in a problem like this, 2x minus parentheses 5x minus 8. So if you're going to go ahead and go prepare that, that means I'm going to put in my invisible ones and I'm going to change all of my subtractions to add the opposite. So this is clearly a subtraction, so I'm going to change this to plus negative. Now remember, never put the minus inside of the parentheses. And we have a plus negative right there. Looking for invisible ones, we have a 2x, so this x is okay. He has a 2 on it. This x is okay. There's a 5 on it, but we do have a set of parentheses with no number touching it. So we do have to put invisible 1 in there. Now, obviously, you're going to notice that that turns into a negative 1, and that will let us know that we are going to have to distribute that. So we have done preparing, check. Next step we want to do is we want to distribute. So that means any number that's touching the parentheses, we have to multiply it to all terms inside. So you make your little rainbows. So the 2x is not touching, so that just comes down. Plus, now I need negative 1 times 5x. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. This does not have an x. This one does, so that is just an x. Plus negative 1 times negative 8. Remember, put that in your calculator. Negative 1 times negative 8 is positive 8. I'm done distributing. All my parentheses are gone. My last step, I'm going to combine like terms. Last step is going to be combine like terms. Like terms means exact same variable parts. So this 2x and this negative 5x are like each other. So in your calculator, just put 2 plus negative 5. So I'm putting 2 plus negative 5 in my calculator, and I'm going to get negative 3. It's addition, so I just still have an x. I do not get higher powers on my variables when I add. Same thing. And then I have this plus 8. He has no friends. So I have just prepared, distributed, and combined like terms. Just be careful of this minus right up against the parentheses. And remember, you have to distribute the negative 1. The second thing we want to watch for is to make sure that when you multiply variables together that you get sometimes higher variables. So we have 3y parentheses 6y plus 1, close parentheses, plus negative 3y plus 2. Okay, following the exact same steps. This does not have an equal sign. It's an expression. So we're going to follow these exact 3 steps right here. Prepare, distribute, combine like terms. I'll use the same colors. So prepare. Looking through this, do I have any subtractions? That means if you read it, do you say the word minus? 3y, parentheses, 6y plus 1 plus, that is a negative 3y. That is not a minus 3y. That is not an operation. Negative 3y plus 2. So I don't have anything to change. Let's check for invisible ones. This y has a 3 on it. He's good. This y has a 6 on it. He's good. This y has a negative 3 on it. He's good. This parentheses has a 3y on it. That's fine. This parentheses does not have a number touching either side, so I'm going to put an invisible 1 right there. I have prepared my problem. Check. Next step, distribute. So if I have any parentheses, I have to multiply whatever's on the outside to every term on the inside. So I have this 3y here. It has to be multiplied to the 6y and to the 1. I also have this 1 that's going to have to be multiplied to the negative 3y and the 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply. Right here is a very common mistake. 3y times 6y. So the 3 times 6 is going to give us 18. That's fine. But when we have a y times a y, we do get a y to the second power. Remember up here, when we added x's, we still got x. But down here, we're multiplying because remember, distributing is multiplication. Okay, so then now we have plus 3y times 1 is just 3y because 3 times 1 is 3, and you have just a single y. Plus, I'm going to multiply 1 times this guy and 1 times that guy. When you multiply by 1, you get samesies. So we get negative 3y plus a 2. So multiply that, get that to there. Good. So I have distributed, done my multiplication. Last step, combine like terms. Now remember, like terms means they have the exact same variables and exponents on it. So sometimes we say the exact same variable parts. This guy has a y to the second. This has a y, this has a y, this has nothing. So when I'm talking about like terms, the only ones that are like are this 3y and this negative 3y in the middle. So I'm gonna, this 18y squared has no friends, no like terms, and this 2 has no friends, no like terms. I'm gonna always start highest powers first, so my 18y squared is gonna go first. Next, I need to combine my 3y and my negative 3y. If I add in my calculator 3 plus negative 3, I get 0. So I have 0 y's. Now, 0 y's means I don't have any y's, so I don't even have to write the y's. So I could think of it as plus no y's at all, and then bring down this 2. But having no y's is like nothing at all. So really my problem simplifies to 18y squared plus 2. And that is simplified all the way. Remember, if you have 0 y's, don't write it as just y, because y really means 1y, right? And we don't want that. So make sure you either write 0y, or if it's simplified all the way, you're just going to leave it out altogether. So a couple things to remember. Please remember your subtraction up against the parentheses. Make sure that gets distributed in visible -1. Make sure when you multiply two variables together, you're going to get some higher powers, right? And that's about it. Remember that you can look at the assignment hashtag 007 in your Google Classroom. 007 has a video with notes. So if you did not get your video with your notes, you should have your notes on page 10 of your notes notebook. So make sure you have those there. Study lots. You have your test coming up. And do your best. Remember, practice for game day.